like we've got a few people that are taking a break today. That's fine. Even I get tired of me sometimes. But today we are going to get into working with files. Uh, and by that I mean like external files and specifically text files. We're not going to start unpacking any sort of complicated data files or taking raw image data and doing stuff with that or anything that fancy just yet. But what we are going to be doing is working with text files. And the best, well, maybe the most common way of using a text file with your Python programs is as a way of storing information created by the program while the program is not running. So far in the class, all we've done is we've created programs, and those programs have data. They have variables and things that we're working with that live only as long as that program is running. If there's an error or the program crashes or we exit the program or it just finishes running naturally, all of those variables go away. And so the next time you run the program, you have to start over from scratch. Now, logically speaking, that's not ideal. That's not what we want for any sort of real program because it's a pretty limited case, right? Rock, paper, scissors games work fine, and Mad Libs and some of the basic stuff that we've been doing, those work fine. But if we have an employee database, for example, that every time the program crashes or stops running, we lose all of the data, that's kind of a bummer, right? That sort of defeats the purpose. So when we start working with files, it gives us the ability to save that data. It also provides us with a way using Python to interact with other sources of data, the web or a database or an Excel file that you save as a CSV, a comma separated values. I don't know if you've ever tried doing that before, but that'll take your Excel data and it'll push it out as a text file where instead of having the boxes that you see in the cells in Excel, what you have is rows of data that are separated by commas. And then you can take Python and import that data and use it however you want. So we've got a lot of options when we're starting to talk about working with files, a lot of different things that we can do. And just like every other new thing that we've learned, it sort of opens the door to some other possibilities in terms of what we can do with the program. So today I want to cover some of the basics of working with files and just the mechanics of opening a file and reading it and writing to a file, that sort of thing. And I'm going to leave you with a little bit of a sandbox challenge. I'll go over it fairly thoroughly so you can just sort of play around with that code. In fact, that code is already in the sandbox for this module, so you can already start playing around with it anytime. But we'll get through that kind of stuff today, and then on Thursday, or the next class session, I'll actually go over the assignment. And for this assignment, you actually have a choice of a couple of different projects to work on. So that will give you some freedom to play around or challenge yourself